afternoon and good evening. I am recording outside today, so I apologize in advance for the noise and the airplanes. I am sitting next to an orange tree, which is fabulous, and an avocado tree. I'm gonna be putting out a new vlog, a moving vlog, because we have moved again. So it's a temporary move, so it's not like permanent. But I am at our temporary moved location for the winter. And as you can tell, it's probably a little bit tropical by the birds, the summer bird sounds, and the orange tree that I'm sitting next to. Anyways, the baby just went down. I'm sitting in the sun. It was just like a summer shower. It wasn't summer, it was a winter shower. But still, I do apologize for all of the noises in advance. There will be noises. There will be planes and birds and all noises of all kinds. But today is a good podcast. It's maybe a sad podcast, maybe, as you saw by the title. But all in all, it's a necessary podcast that needs to be talked about because people just don't talk about this. I've made a YouTube video in the past talking about this topic, but I'm gonna talk about kind of the steps of kind of what happens when this happens, a miscarriage, that is. And then I'm gonna go through, steps you can take after the fact that it happens. So let's just jump into it. First, you've been waiting and waiting. You've been testing and waiting to get pregnant. You've been taking tests every day. You've been checking your fertility. You've been making sure you are having sex on the days that you're ovulating and when your egg drops, which is one of the few second or third last day of your cycle. I guess it's different for everybody, so that's how it is for me. And you've been testing, and finally it shows a positive. And you go through this crazy level of joy and excitement. Maybe you surprise your husband with like a little box that says, it shows the pregnancy test, it shows a little onesie and little shoes or something, and you surprise him, or you do something creative. Maybe you just tell him, maybe he's in the next room, maybe he was there watching you test, I don't know. But the joy is unbelievable. It's like you have this greatest secret in the whole world, and nobody knows about it but you and your person. It's the coolest feeling. It's so much fun. It's the best. It's the best. And if you're a woman, you get to carry that secret inside of you until you're ready to share with people. And it's the best feeling. It's better than Christmas morning. It's just an amazing earthly feeling. You and your husband go and celebrate. Maybe you go to dinner. Maybe you go do something fun you haven't done, or go shopping, or do something you haven't done in a long time. Maybe you go to Disney. Maybe you whatever. You celebrate. You and your spouse. And then whenever the time comes, whether it's right away as soon as you find out, or a week or two later, whatever the time is right. Maybe it's 15 weeks because that's the recommended time because you've had a miscarriage in the past and you want to be safe and make sure that the chance of you having a miscarriage after 15 weeks it gets dropped significantly. Well, then you wait 15 weeks and you make sure, and that's okay. It's really hard to keep that secret, though. Really hard, especially if you love sushi. I'll tell you that. But yeah. Then you tell your close family and friends. People you want to know first. People that you're in contact with on a regular basis. People you trust. And you celebrate with them. And they celebrate with you. Then, maybe a week later, or 2 or 3 or 4, you see the blood. It looks like you're starting your period. Kind of. So you Google it, of course. You know you shouldn't, but you do it anyways, because maybe it's not what you think it is. Maybe it's just a period. You know, I've known people that have a period and they're pregnant. I've known people that have a cyst on their ovary and it bursts and their baby's fine. I've known people that have a full period while pregnant and go to full term and they're fine. I've known people to have bleeding and not know why. You know. You see all the possibilities on Google that are probably just outliers and that aren't true. Then a couple days later, you see blood, a little bit of blood here. Then you see the clots and lots more blood and tissue. And now you're not sure. More than you weren't before. Then the cramps and back pain begin. You're trying to ignore it and think, oh, it's nothing, there's nothing wrong, I'm fine, the baby's fine. And then you get scared. Maybe something is wrong. I'm just not sure. I don't have anyone to talk to about this. What do I do? Do I go to the hospital now? Maybe you go to the hospital and they see a heartbeat and it's the baby's fine. Then a few days later, you're at work and you have a lot of pain and all of a sudden you have to go to the bathroom really bad and boom, all the tissue and the toilet bowl fills with blood. All the tissue and blood fills the toilet. In complete shock and feeling like you want to cry and you're mad and sad all at the same time, you break down. You realize you just lost a loved one. I once heard someone say a miscarriage is a loss like no other. You're grieving the loss of someone you never met. It's kind of crazy. Because you never got to share life with this person. You never got to share the hard times or the good times or the great times or the best times. You never got to do anything with them. They just weren't there, ever. You rush to the hospital because you're in total shock, and now you know for sure something is wrong. They do some tests and a sonogram, and then they leave. They give you a RhoGAM shot if you're negative blood type. RhoGAM, the RH shot, is if you have a negative blood type, your body, and the baby doesn't have negative blood type, your body, let's say your husband has a positive blood and you have a negative blood, and you're the woman, if you have a negative blood type and your baby has a positive, they won't know. They can do tests, but it's invasive, I believe. Your body will see it as an invasion if you bleed. This is only if you bleed now. And because if you're in a miscarriage, you're bleeding, obviously. So you'll have to get the RhoGAM shot. And they usually do that once the whole miscarriage has taken place. You'll also need to get the RhoGAM shot even if your pregnancy's fine, but later in your pregnancy, much later. But your body will see it as an invasion, the baby itself, and it will kill the baby. But if you have the RhoGAM shot, it doesn't do that. So I'm not sure how that works. There's probably science on that, but I don't know that. So you have to get it for every pregnancy if you're negative blood type. Anyways, they leave you in the room for 30 to 40 minutes, maybe an hour, only to come back and say they didn't see a heartbeat. Your baby's gone. Meanwhile, you're in the waiting room, hopeful the baby might still be there, worried it might not, but won't let yourself fully feel it because you don't want to believe it. I can't believe I'm crying about this. Ooh, wow. You're trying to trust God. I mean, you know this baby is God's idea. You know you didn't do anything to make this baby die or anything wrong. You know there is nothing you could have done or could have not done to make it stop. And maybe you don't know that, but the doctors told you there's nothing you could have done or not done to make the baby stop dying. And there's no pills that the doctors could have given you to stop the baby from dying. It just was happening anyways. And you know that your body knew that there was something not right about the pregnancy. It wasn't a strong pregnancy. And you also know that sometimes women have miscarriages because the pregnancy isn't strong. But the next time they have a pregnancy, that pregnancy is very strong. And it's just a very strong baby and a strong pregnancy. And becomes seamless after that. You know all the lines. You know what the right thing to say is. You trust the Lord that He knew a deeper story to this. You trust God for a healthy, happy, full-term baby in the future. You only want what God has for you because it's always the best that there is. So many thoughts and so many emotions are racing through your mind and body. You spend many nights missing this little human you've never met. There's a cat, a really cute, sorry to break the mood. This cute tiger cat is next to me. Some doctors say you need to wait 3 months. Some say, depending on where you're at in the pregnancy, you can try again immediately. One time at 8 months, I've heard doctors say you have to wait 3 months. And at 5 months, I've heard the doctors say you can try immediately to have a baby. But just ask your doctor. Then you need to untell all the people you already told. Don't keep it all to yourself. Tell a few close people that you trust and let them grieve with you. Don't do this alone. Talk to people you know. Talk to people that you know. Talk to them about this and talk it through. Maybe ask a few people you trust if they've gone through this as well. You might be surprised. they might have had a few and know what they're talking about. When I did, I couldn't believe how so many people have had so many miscarriages, and I never knew because people don't talk about it. Close family members have had them, and I never knew until I had one myself. Hopefully, you never have to go through this. It's a really hard thing to have to go through. But maybe if some people did talk, then it wouldn't be so hard to talk about it either. So just pray. I hope this encourages you. Please subscribe, leave a comment, and share this with a friend that you know that's gone through this. Because there's nothing you could have done or not done to prevent this. The Lord has a wonderful baby for you. Right? Ready to come down on earth. I love you. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.